What's up, everybody? It's Vince Eliot, your production addict. And when it comes to production, I gotta have it, man. Come on. Today we're talking about voiceovers and the creative process, more so of the voiceovers. So the first thing you gotta ask yourself, is it voiceovers or voice acting? We'll talk about the difference, but before we do, let's get into this right quick. Now, don't act like y'all don't see it. You know what it is. Detroit Lions, baby. I'm in Detroit. I'm in a D. What you want from me? Don't hate, just appreciate. We doing what we do. Anyway, so let's get back to it. All right. Voice acting versus voiceovers. All right. So voice acting could be considered something like animation cartoons. You're acting as if you're this character or something like that. And, you're on the mic, and you're watching the animation and you're going, hey, get over here. Get him out of here before I smack him up, something like that, right? That's my little imitation of being some kind of mobster or gangster. But so voiceover could arguably be, in some cases, voice acting as well. For example, movie trailers. Nobody goes around saying, don't open the door, get ready tonight on ABC. Nobody walks around talking like that, right? So that could be considered a form of voice acting, but more so narration, informational content, or maybe even product promotion, commercials or something like that, where you're just promoting an event or promoting a product. So today I have the privilege and the honor of voicing a promo for a book that's coming out for someone I admire and respect, Dr. James L. Moorman, who is the founder and shepherd of CTAB Church. CTAB is what we lovingly call it. It stands for Christian Tabernacle Church in Southfield. And he's releasing a book called Fireside Chats, and I've been asked to voice and create a video for the promotion of that book. So that's what I'm going to record today. And I want to give you some insight to my my approach to how I do that. So the first thing is understanding what it is that we're trying to promote. What's the message? What's the concept? What's the story we're trying to tell? And so we're promoting a book that has to do with personal development, personal transformation, leadership, growth. Fireside Chats, the concept behind this book is that Dr. Moorman, being the spiritual father for a lot of leaders, has been known to pull people by the side and give them loving and graceful correction by the fireside, if you will, talking to them about their role in leadership or spiritual growth as they maybe play a role in the church, or maybe as they preach or something like that. And he says, son, let me talk to you. I haven't been there long enough to get a fireside chat. Maybe that's the reason why I haven't had one. But aside from that, that's basically the whole premise behind Fireside Chats. But it's also done for inspiration, lovingly encouraging, things of that nature. And so this book is not only for church leaders, but it's also for those who are looking for personal transformation, growth spiritually, and maybe in the corporate world, because it comes from his corporate experience. All that being said, my process is, now that I understand what the messages that we're trying to deliver, I understand who the audience is, right? It could be corporate folks, it could be church leadership folks, could be pastors, preachers, ministers, evangelists. This book is, talking about real life stories. And so you'll hear about some of the real life stories and the testimonials in this book. And so you'll hear about all of that as I begin to do the voiceover and describe what this book is about and promote it. So let's get into that. I also do other things to prepare creatively, right? So I select music. I've already done that for the sake of time. And, it kind of dictates, based on what the message is, what kind of music we want to use, right? So I don't want any sports, that's not what we want for a fireside chat. I want something that's going to be inspirational, uplifting, sort of a corporate sound for this. And so I've selected some music that I feel fits wonderful for this. If I was doing something for elderly folks who are considering, moving into, what do they call it, elderly healthy living, or elderly living caring facilities, you guys know better than I do. So, I would use, a totally different tone, a totally different delivery, a totally different style of music. And so these are the things that I have to consider before I even get into recording. I have to consider the script. How long is the script? What platform is it going on? All of these things come into account. And so this is going to be played on the website, in social media. It's going to be played in the sanctuary. And so I consider that in my delivery, in my script. My audience has to be considered. And then, those platforms have to be considered as well. So all that being said, what I like to try to do is try to make it seem as if the music was created around the voiceover. And what I mean by that, I rehearse the script with the music so that I can feel the tempo and the pace of the music along with my voice. And then as the music begins to change, maybe there's a way that I change my delivery style. So I might start off one way and then get aggressive somewhere else, or if the music does some kind of crescendo or climax, do I pause? Do I hesitate to let that beat hit and then come back with the next chapter or the next verse or the next line or what have you? I'm listening to the bars of the music so that when it goes to that next hesitation, it goes to the hook, just much like a choir does, right? They go to the chorus, and so they wait for the beat of that music to go to the chorus. And it's sort of like a theatrical experience of the mind, as someone once put it. So that's considered, in my mind, some form of voice acting. I'm timing my voiceover with the music. So let's get into it. I'll let you hear the music after I actually record the voiceover. So you won't hear the music because I don't want it coming out loud out of my speakers and going back into my microphone. I have the music, it'll be going through my ears. I'll record it, and then I'll let you hear how it goes, once I add the music to it. So let's get into it. In his new book, Fireside Chats, Dr. James L. Moorman invites you to unlock your potential and take your leadership, faith, and life to the next level. Drawing from his corporate journey and his experience growing CTAB from 12 members to over 6,000, Dr. Moorman reimagines the concept of a fireside chat as a powerful tool for leadership and personal transformation. Each chapter blends timeless biblical... all right, so we messed up on that. Let's redo it. Voice is mouth is a little dry. That's another thing. The heat just turned off. It was blowing the fan. I could always edit that out. That's another conversation, but let's do it while things are quiet. In his new book, Fireside Chats, Dr. James L. Moorman invites you to unlock your potential and take your leadership, faith, and life to the next level. Drawing from his corporate journey and his experience growing CTAB from 12 members to over 6,000, Dr. Moorman reimagines the concept of a fireside chat as a powerful tool for leadership and personal transformation. Each chapter blends timeless biblical principles with real-life stories from Dr. Moorman's career, showing how faith and practical wisdom can lead to breakthroughs in business and life. Testimonies from others illustrate how these lessons inspire growth in character, purpose, and faith. Fireside Chats isn't just a book, it's an invitation to higher levels of success and personal growth. Dr. Moorman's mission is to pass on his legacy of leadership, wisdom, and faith to the next generation. So, are you ready to transform your life and purpose? Then let the fire begin. Pre-order your copy of Fireside Chats today and purchase an additional copy to give to a loved one who could benefit from its wisdom and inspiration. All right, so I spared you the time of, going through the editing process. What I did basically is I went through and I took out all of the breaths in between, so you don't have to hear, all of that kind of stuff. So it sounds clean, and I got the levels for the audio mix. So let's take a listen. In his new book, Fireside Chats, Dr. James L. Moorman invites you to unlock your potential and take your leadership, faith, and life to the next level. Drawing from his corporate journey and his experience growing CTAB from 12 members to over 6,000, Dr. Moorman reimagines the concept of fireside chats as a powerful tool for leadership and personal transformation. Each chapter blends timeless biblical principles with real-life stories from Dr. Moorman's career, showing how faith and practical wisdom can lead to breakthroughs in business and life. Testimonies from others illustrate how these lessons inspire growth in character, purpose, and faith. Fireside Chats isn't just a book, it's an invitation to higher levels of success and personal growth. Dr. Moorman's mission is to pass on his legacy of leadership, wisdom, and faith to the next generation. Pre-order your copy of Fireside Chats today and purchase an additional copy to gift to a loved one who could benefit from its wisdom and inspiration. So you may or may not have noticed I took a line out of there. It says, "So, are you ready to transform your life and purpose? Then let the fire begin." I was trying to get this thing down to like a minute. And so every little place I could cut, I cut it down. And that was a line that, it was good, but, I felt like I was closer to a minute because this is going to be played while, in a series of announcements with other announcements. And so I don't want to, stretch this thing out to be a 2-minute, type of deal. Plus, got to have the video to go with it as well. So that's it for now. There's so much other things that we could talk about in terms of the creative process with voiceovers, talking about pitch, cadence, inflection, timing, just, all of that. So, yeah, that's it. If you if you have any comments, go ahead and put them down in the comment section. I always say that I am not the gatekeeper to creativity. So the way I do it is not the only way to do it. It's just my creative process. And so I like to learn how, you do things. You have a different way of approaching it. I'd love to hear it because sometimes I adopt other people's ways of doing things, that are different from mine. I think each one can teach one. Till next time, peace.